Please read the disclaimer. Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, moneymakers. We got some breaking news, XRP breaking news, crypto breaking news, you could call it. I went to sleep and I woke up. I opened my Twitter X account and I saw all the news flowing in. Oh, this is amazing. What a great deal between the US and China. And then I went to the graphs and well, we'll talk about what's happening there. All I ask from you is that you give me a beautiful smile, send out those good vibes. Smishity smash that like button because likes are for free. Don't say I don't spoil you guys, and let's get into it. So, currently XRP is sitting at $2.52. So, we're up a little bit, okay? XRP is up a little bit, about 0.5%, but you would think on the news, which we'll get to in just a second, that we would seen a little bit more excitement in the markets, right? We'll get to why, my opinion. Again, these are just my opinions. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Why, in my opinion, the market is stuck a little bit. I'll explain in just a second. Of course, make sure to watch all the way to the end of the video to get all the analysis. Very important. Currently, Bitcoin is sitting at 110,000, Ethereum still under 4,000 at 3,800, and Solana at 200. We're looking at the big dogs. You know, we could also look at BNB, which is a top 5 crypto at $1,000. Still holding, but this is a little bit concerning. Maybe a crossover on the 1348 EMA. By the way, if you are interested in getting the 1348 EMA, we have the email list where you can sign up. And if you do use one of my links to sign up to the exchanges, our partners, you will get the 1348 EMA indicator as well once you get that $100 deposit. So link is in the description down below. Again, please trade responsibly. We've made a lot of money with leverage, but we've also lost a lot of money. So please trade responsibly. Okay. And again, I will get a commission. They are a partner of the channel. So when we're looking at the current situation of the market, right? We continue to see Bitcoin and this, you could call it sinus movement, although if maybe I'll remove this yellow line here, it's not, you know, one-to-one, but if you look at the stochastic RSI, it's very clear that we are in a sinus movement, right? You can see up and then down and then up and then down and up and down. And it's pretty smooth, right? The curve. Whereas, you know, in other areas, we've had, you know, maybe more spikiness and up and down, right? It hasn't been this, what's the word I'm looking for? I always hate when I forget words. It has a certain cadence, right? But that's not the word I'm looking for, right? It has a shape, okay? And so usually when we see that kind of action, it's mostly algo related trading. They trade on a certain cadence, they trade on a certain action, right? And that's what we're seeing right now. So we've seen this in the past where we get stuck in this zone and it's very hard to get out. You have to also remember that October 10th liquidated a lot of traders and liquidated a lot of liquidity that might have had some effect on the push to, let's say, to the upside, where we're not seeing that right now. And yes, there is still long-term liquidity that's sitting on the sidelines, but we don't have maybe the day-to-day liquidity that was moving and shaking the markets with big volatility, with big swings. A lot of that money is not there anymore. And maybe the money will come back. We'll see. But every single cycle has this sort of, oh my God, you know, everybody just got, you know, destroyed. That happens every single time, right? It happened here, and it could potentially happen again and again. I had to pause for a second because they just called from my son's school. He's not feeling well. This is part of the Avi experience. By the way, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel and rung the bell, yes, turn on all notification. Now is the time to do so you don't miss out on any videos. We had that week vacation and it seems that, I don't know, it's taking a little bit. Maybe it's because XRP has been a little bit sleepy, but it's taking a little bit for everybody to come back. I don't know what's happening if, I guess you are watching this video, right? So, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's a little bit decline there, but it's okay. we'll get back on the horse. Sometimes it takes a little bit, right? So that's the situation when you have these events. People leave, right? That's what happens. They get liquidated, and sometimes they can recover and they come back to the market. And sometimes people leave until the next wave, or they accumulated enough assets that they can come back. So that's where, right now we might be at max, I wouldn't call it fear or max depression in the market, but we know that out of max fear and max depression, usually there's light at the end of the tunnel in general, also in life. Like that's, I hope that's how people look at that. That's how I look at that. I've been in a lot of rough situations over the past few years, and I always see the light, but I have the monkey on my shoulder telling me, Avi, be careful, okay? Because I've experienced a lot of things that you say, oh, that's not going to happen, and it happens, right? October 10th was another example of that, okay? So what was the big news? Avi, you're right, we're already 6 minutes in. So basically, breaking, President Trump officially announced a deal on economic and trade relations with China. That happened. The official website, not website, the White House account tweeted it. And so this is basically what's going to happen. Chinese actions: suspend new rare earth export controls, issue general license for export of rare earths, take significant measures to end flow of that in U.S., suspend all retaliatory tariffs since March 4th, suspend all retaliatory non-tariff measures since March 4th, purchase at least 12 million metric tons of soybeans, U.S. soybeans, and the U.S. will lower China's tariffs by 10 percentage points and extend the expirations of certain Section 301 tariffs exclusion until November 2026. And why this is this is the biggest de-escalation yet under the U.S.-China deal. President Trump made a huge agreement with China. China will suspend all the retaliatory tariffs, and even said, "God bless America and God bless China." Right? That's something huge. That this is something that rocked the market back in 2018. I don't know if you remember. I don't know how many of you were in the markets back then, but we had something similar between U.S. and China. It was all over the news. It was all over the talking points. YouTube wasn't that as big in the space, right? There were some channels, but it wasn't like it is today. And people weren't really talking about it. It was more like in forums and Reddit and things like that, and MSNBC and things like that. And the market sold off significantly, right? But what happened? They made a deal and everything came back, right? And it was all sunshine and beautiful until March of 2020 when everything collapsed, right? So we'll see. But why didn't the market react? Like, it reacted. So if you go back, you can see it did react. Okay, it did react. It went up a little bit. You can see Bitcoin and XRP. There was some inflow. You could say, well, maybe it was late in the US. It was like 12 a.m. Eastern time, something like that. So maybe that's the reason. But you had the Asian markets that were open. I think this is the reason why. We've heard this already, right? They say, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, something like that, right? So President Trump has now reached 3 trade deals with China in 2025. There was the truce, the 90-day truce, then the 90-day extension of the tariff truce. Remember that we were talking, Secretary Bessent met with the Chinese counterpart and they said that they have a deal, but then we never heard anything about it. And we didn't have a signing, we didn't have any official press conference, right? They said, we have a deal, but nothing. And so now we have this on November 1st, and Kobesi here says, when is the next round? So I think that's why, maybe, right? The markets are, maybe it's because it's Sunday fun day, maybe, right? And there's just low liquidity. There's not a lot of people with eyes on the market. It's Halloween weekends. Who knows? But I think this is a big deal, and the market should have reacted a little bit more. The market is closed Sunday, so there's no stock market. So we don't really know how the stock market is reacting or would have reacted because it's closed. So it's a kind of a weird situation. Not a lot of action, not a lot happening. Will there be a delayed action to this good news? I don't know. Again, I'm not a prophet. I don't know if the market is going to go up, down, or sideways. That's why I'll never tell you to buy, to sell, or to hold. Of course, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Very, very important. These are only my opinions and what I'm doing or not doing. So please be very careful out there. We'll see. We'll see. It's a weird situation. I know that a lot of people watch my channel because I give a more balanced view on the markets. Some people hate that. Some people criticize me for that. But I don't know exactly what's going to happen short term, especially. You would think, again, on this great news, make myself bigger, on this great news that we would, have at least a few percentages, to the upside, right? Because when we had the bad news, the market collapsed. But on the good news, right? So it has recovered, of course, from the collapse. But if we go back and we look where we were on October 10th, so interestingly, Bitcoin was at 121,000. So, it's still off. It held, of course, a lot better than the others. It's down 9.4%, which, has happened before, right? It happened here. It's not out of the ordinary. XRP is still off, right? XRP was around $3, right, on October 10th, and it's down 14%. So it actually has recovered a lot of the loss, but not where we'd want it. We wanted more. That's a hypothetical question, right? Where we want it, where would we like the price? Of course, the answer would be right. But we don't know. So 15, Ethereum, let's see where it started, right? So we have the start there, also around 10%. So similar, let's see Solana, if we're already doing this check, I'm just interested, about 15%. So, okay. So we're seeing Bitcoin and Ethereum are about 10% off. Solana, XRP, which are, let's say the others after, right? We can also look at BNB, but BNB is its own kind of action recently, right? Down 13, 14%. So kind of in line with XRP and Solana there. So it's interesting. So we're still 15% off of where we were on October 10th, and yet the sentiment around the market is just terrible, right? People have lost interest. If you go on crypto Twitter, a lot of people are saying, I'm done with crypto, I'm leaving. Like, I don't know if those are bots or there's people that are playing or what's happening. That happens many times, that big traders try to manipulate the market with those kinds of posts. And then people see those posts and then they're like, oh, maybe I should do that, right? And so we have to be careful with that. So just know that there's a lot of things that are going on in the market, and we need to take all of them into consideration. I will continue to give you the news and what's happening, and my thesis and my thinking on the market. Again, if you're interested, subscribe to the channel so you get I'm on your subscription feed. And if you ring the bell, you click the bell, you'll get a notification when a new video is dropped, so you can be first in the comments first. All right. Drop a comment, 8 for infinity and beyond, or you can just give me your opinions or how you're feeling or what you're thinking or happy Halloween or whatever. And click the like button. That's the easiest thing you can do. Also, don't forget about the email list and the 1348 EMA indicator and our partners as well. So check those out in the description down below, and follow me on Twitter. I'll also link to that as well. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time.